Thank you very much, first of all. Thank you very much for having accepted this invitation to chat with us today.
Yes.
We have with us Dr. Leroi.
Yes.
A lot of experience in landslide risk management at different levels for different actors. You were at BRGM before, now then you set up first company, second company. You may tell us something about it.
That's right.
Let's start right away with what you're doing now. What are the main topics you're currently addressing?
What I'm doing now, a lot of things. I've got managing a private company, which is risk and development. And my main concern is how to take risk into account in land planning and how to give all this knowledge, to develop methodology and to give this knowledge in developing country. The main concern Africa, where they are lacking data, lacking experience, lacking methodology. So my objective is to work there and to try to improve the risk management in this country. So taking risk into account, using new technology, developing software for helping decision making. That's a global activity I've got at this time.
At this moment, any particular project you want to mention to us that you are addressing in Africa?
Yes, still in Africa, maybe two interesting projects we had in Ivory Coast, in Abidjan, where we were capable to run quantitative risk assessments thanks to all the data we were capable to collect with local people. And the same thing in Mali for UNICEF, where we were doing quantitative risk assessment. In Ivory Coast, it was for flooding and landslide, and in Mali for flooding.
Flooding only. And in these case studies, when you are working, as you said, in these areas where data are lacking, and so a lot of effort must be, I guess, during the project be performed to acquire data. What can you tell us about lessons that you learned, or maybe things that you were not expecting and then you realized something that you were not expecting while working?
In our country, in developed country, we've got a lot of organizations which are capable to gather all the information for the scientists. You have BRGM, you have IGN, you have a lot of companies who give you the basic data. When you go in this country, you don't have those organizations. They don't have the means, they don't have people, they don't have tool enough, money enough to get the data. So we have to change the way we work, and we have to find solutions so that the people in the field, the population, and the local decision maker are capable to help you gathering this basic information. It's not possible to use experts, to use people who are very expensive to get the basic data. So what we managed to do is to develop software, to develop methodology, to use new technology so that local people be capable to gather the data. And for example, in Abidjan, we were capable to digitalize and to get very detailed information on building, on people living in the building, for about 20,000 buildings within 3 months.
Oh, so that time is also important, of course, and then you said it's a very short time.
Yeah.
Let's go, well, connected to these. You said your things about developing countries and places where data are not there, and how people are important for your work there, because they are the ones actually, even without the technical expertise, to connect the data for you and to work somehow in the project for you. How do you think people are important also in places that are more developed, where data are there? How do you think people should be involved in? Is there importance there as well? Or
yes, I guess in the same way people should be more involved, because once again, gathering basic data is very expensive. It doesn't mean that those people are going to design a risk map or hazard maps. It still stays the responsibility of the scientists who have a very strong background. But for basic data, for the elemental trees, for being capable to say, here I've got so many people and so on and so on, I guess population might be more involved. And the interest as well in involving people, that's you can share a culture of risk, and they can feel more responsible on the management of the risk. So I think everywhere we should be more in connection with local decision maker and with the population to manage globally and together the risk.
Of course, I totally agree with you on that. Let's move on to something else, thinking about the future. What do you think, in your expert opinion, what are the main challenges that nowadays landslide risk managers face? In other words, what should the landslide research address more pressingly? What should we be dealing with?
I would say that's the main challenge once again are how to get accurate data, images. We have satellite giving more precise information. I think it's not enough. We should use new technology such as drones. We have a huge capability and huge possibility with drones to give us information, and it's how to take this information in 3D. Because at this time,
in terms of for visualization purposes and dissemination purposes, also for the analysis itself.
For both modeling, because modeling, I would say flows, landslide, everything occurs in 3D. So we have to take 3D into account in the modeling and even in the restitution and in the visualization of the territory. People don't understand a map. So we have to communicate in 3D so that people understand their territory, understand what is occurring and the consequence. So that, I guess that's, if we manage to work in 3D, we will be more efficient, and we will have a communication with people which will be more efficient.
Interesting. Let's move on, and we are almost at the end of this brief chat. Can you recommend anything to us you recently read, an article or book or something that you saw online, a resource, something that you would like to share with us because you feel it's particularly relevant?
I would say, for example, because we are inside LARAM and we have a young student coming from everywhere except part of the world which is Africa, and I guess it would be very
totally, yes. we know about that. Like, for the people that are listening to us, we are here in the week of the LARAM School 2017,
exactly,
and no one from Africa is a student this time, but actually even in the past editions it's true that we are lacking people coming from that.
So I guess we should have people from this area, but I guess I'm very happy to see that people coming from all the different parts of the world. That's a huge experience for them. I don't have, I would say, any specific recommendation regarding techniques and books, because I would say we have a professor from academics who have a better experience in this way. But I would push them to be curious and to be capable to read things about science, about psychology, about communication, about politics, about regulation. Because if you want to manage the system, you don't have to deal only with science. You have to be capable to have a global view or an integrated view. So I would not recommend one book. I would recommend to be curious and to be capable to have interest and knowledge on all those different parts.
Okay. Just to close this conversation, can you tell us something about your future projects, or something that it's there but almost there, something you're thinking of?
Future project, I would say I've got many things in mind. Still developing tools for a decision maker and developing tools for civil protection. Once again, not in our country where civil protection have a lot of means, powerful means, but once again in developing country. They are lacking tools which are capable to say, at this place you have a problem and you need to go there and you need to design the response in the good way. So my objective is what we started to do in Mali and in Ivory Coast is to be capable to more and more give more efficient tools to manage the risk in real time and to share the information in between all the people who are the responsibility of the risk. That's what we are developing at this
data
time.
information that you've been mentioning mainly
Yes,
in these conversations.
data information.
Very,
If
very
you want
relevant.
our knowledge, our science to be efficient, we need to know the territory where we apply this science. Without this basic information, we will lose a lot of efficiency and regarding our science.
Thank you very much for your thoughts on
It was a
this.
pleasure.
Of course.